Hi everyone, it's Coach Boots here. I'm just enjoying my afternoon tea, and whenever you see me with tea in my hand, this is one of my favorite ways to relax. But it also, just as a heads up, it generally means that the conversation today will be a bit more serious and personal than most days. So today I want to present the next installment on my series on why I am coaching. And so I've been thinking a lot about the next stage of my life recently. You probably know that about a year ago I finished my MBA, and coming off of that MBA was a really difficult transition for me. So on one hand, I failed to meet my primary goal for doing the MBA. I had wanted to build a new life and remain in the United Kingdom, and just with the visa regulations there, that was not possible for me. So it was very difficult to accept that and to come back to the US, but I'm someone who tries to do the best with any circumstances that are presented to me. And I realized that there are a lot of people in the world who are in very unfortunate circumstances. And overall, I'm incredibly lucky to be able to live in the US. And on the flip side of that, the positive news is that my other major goal of the MBA, I smashed. I blew it out of the water. And that was to find a consulting career that would fit my personality and satisfy my dream of maximizing my impact on healthcare systems, of playing a role in extending global access to quality and affordable healthcare. And I'm so fortunate because I work for a wonderful company and I get to do work that I am passionate about every single day. My work is challenging. I work with brilliant people. I get to apply my unique talents and business skills to areas that are greatly in need of them. And I get to go to some pretty cool places. So I'm very pleased with that. But I've also been thinking about how sustainable is this lifestyle recently. And in particular, things have changed for me within the past few years. I used to love to travel and I still do, but I think coming off that MBA, coming off of those few years of being abroad, and part of just aging, just growing up, I'm looking for more stability in my life. I want to tell you a story of this necklace. So I don't know if you can see this, but this necklace is new. I got it a few months ago, and my sister is pregnant with her first boy. His name's going to be Mason James Flavin, and I am so excited to meet this little boy. I was shopping and I kept noticing they make like Auntie Alex and Auntie bracelets, and I kind of wanted to buy one for myself, but I didn't. But a few months ago, I did buy the necklace here. And what it is it's a little silver and a little silver circle, and then inside you have a tree, a gold tree with a little silver heart below the tree. And this necklace symbolizes family. And I wanted a reminder that family is so important to me. I am so excited to see my sister's dreams come true. You guys probably know that she means more than anything to me in the world. In particular, having lost our mom, I feel a responsibility to support her to the best of my ability. I always have. And on another note, too, she's been incredibly supportive of me and my dreams and my goals. And she really helped make my MBA possible by taking care of my dog. That was hugely important to me. I wouldn't have abandoned the dog to go overseas if I wasn't confident that the dog would be well looked after and would stay in the family and be loved. I think once you adopt a pet, you have a responsibility to put that pet first, even more so, of course, if you have children. And furthermore, my sister has kindly taken me in and allowed me to live with her for the past year. So I wanted something, again, that would symbolize that I could keep with me all the time, that would make me smile when I was down, and would remind me how important family is in my life. So I feel like after my MBA, I've just been craving more of a familial role. I think before, whereas traveling was the most important thing in my life, I'm really, really at the age where I want children to be a part of my life. You probably know that I have never and still do not have any desire to biologically have my own children, but I've been interested in adopting, and in some capacity, I want to play a parental or mentorship role. So I think having Mason, my nephew, in my life will fulfill that. Again, not to say that I am his parent. I want to make that clear. I don't think that I have the right really to raise him in accordance with my values, but rather I see my role as someone who can help take care of him, be a positive influence in his life, and raise him in accordance with the values that his parents want him to be raised in accordance with. And I mean, my sister and I think in terms of raising children, we will have similar values. So I'm really excited for that. I also just have this feeling that I want to be with a partner. I really want a strong romantic relationship. I've always been of the opinion that that's not something that you can work towards. I think it has to happen when the time is right. I really value strong and independent women who are comfortable being alone. But the interesting thing is, I think in the past few years, I've actually been comfortable being on my own for the first time in my life, and that I am looking for someone who would be a strong partner. And I don't know, I just feel like I've always wanted to be a stepmom. I know that is so weird. You don't aspire to be a stepmom. You don't say that's what I want in my life. But like for me, I just think that it's very appealing. I think the experiences that I've been through in my life would help me be a really good stepmom and help me know how to guide a child and serve as a surrogate parent with always understanding that I'm not his or her mom, that I can walk that fine line and again be supportive without ever trying to replace the mom, which I think is incredibly important. So anyway, why am I talking all about all of this? So I've been forced recently to really think about what I want in my life and the next stages of my life. And the problem here is that this traveling lifestyle that I love so much doesn't really jive with wanting to build relationships. I'm gone too often to actually form and build a relationship in which me and the hypothetical partner can grow. I'm also gone too much to be there for my sister and for Mason the way that I want to be. So again, I'm thinking through some very difficult life things right now. I don't want to give this a negative connotation because I think that I'm really lucky because I'm in a job I love. I think if I continue this job, I'll continue to love it. But I'm also thinking about, is it time to kind of cut back and to go after these different goals? And if so, how do I go about that? Where again, I don't believe that you can actively go out and seek a partner and seek a family. I think it's kind of something that has to come naturally in its own time. So I would encourage any advice on that. Now, in particular, I got some really good news this week. So my contract in Aspen has actually been extended to the end of January. This is huge because my work is not guaranteed, it's not stable. So as I finish each project, I have to get put on another project or I risk layoff. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to have guaranteed work in a place that I love through the end of January. But at the same time, I want to be fair to my dog. And my sister actually called me yesterday to express some concerns. My dad was going to watch my dog. My sister can no longer watch the dog. With the new baby coming, she can't have extra responsibilities, and that's certainly understandable. So I had to figure out what I want to do. And in order to be fair to the dog, I think what I'm going to have to do is move out here until the end of January. So that's not ideal for me. I do like staying out here. I like not having to fly back and forth because I can get so much more done on the weekends in terms of training and in terms of just personal logistic work, travel planning, paying bills, still haven't done my taxes, all those sorts of things when I'm not taking 10 plus hours out of my weekend to fly back and forth, and 10 hours is the absolute minimum it would take if every flight was on time and all of that. That's not the case. That's especially not going to be the case when you're flying between Aspen and Boston, two very snowy areas in the middle of winter. So I like staying out here, but the idea of coming here till the end of January is just very, very daunting for me. I actually took a major step in my life recently. I've always thought that online dating is not for me. It's just so awkward and so difficult, but I'm trying it, and I'm actually going to give it a try out here, out where I travel to, because that's where I spend the majority of my time. But I'm struggling in particular meeting compatible matches in Glenwood Springs. It's a small rural community, so that's understandable. And I'm someone who craves intellectualism and the ability to discuss and have meaningful conversations and to grow with one another. Not to say that everyone out here doesn't feel the same or doesn't want that as well, but I just haven't found people who seem compatible quite yet. So yeah, this idea of moving out here is incredibly, incredibly daunting to me. Um, Another huge reason why I hadn't wanted to do this is it means I won't be able to see Mason. In order to put together a lucrative business proposal that would want the hospital to finance this move until the end of January, again, just a temporary move, I have to drastically reduce my number of flights across the country to make it worthwhile financially for the hospital. So when I did the math, it doesn't look like I can go back and forth at all. So again, I'm terrified of this. I love Colorado. I just hope I'll be happy enough out here. I won't have friends here. I'll have to build them, which means stepping outside of my comfort zone. So coming to the point now of why I'm coaching. There are so many things with coaching that encourage me to step outside my comfort zone. Doing these sorts of videos, they don't come naturally to me. I wish you could watch me do one of these videos because I constantly start and then delete and then start again and so on and so forth. Moving out here again, super scary, going to new sites, walking into projects that are already in the works, having to present to hospital executives, all of these things too, like presenting to hospital executives. I have discomfort with that, but it's something I'm also used to. It's not something totally terrifying, but I find that when we step outside of our comfort zone, we become stronger people. So I've always kind of possibly thought of moving to Colorado, although I probably would have moved to Denver or to Colorado Springs or Boulder. I think those are more the intellectual, young, active community hubs. But I think I'll grow a lot by having to just come out here cold turkey, not knowing anyone, have to build new friends, and should be an interesting experience. It's the fairest thing for my dog. And I also want to stress that unfortunately in life, sometimes we have to make choices that are not what we want to do when we have children or pets involved. So that leads me to my next point. This is a temporary solution. I can certainly get by until the end of January. It's not that far away. I think once I settle in, I'll probably be really happy here. But what's next? I ultimately think that I want to be in a place where I'm around for Mason and I'm around to help my sister. And it bothers me tremendously that I won't be there for the first couple of months, that I probably won't even meet my nephew. Hopefully we'll be able to Skype, but I probably won't even meet him until the end of January. So I'm trying to explore options that would allow me to cut back on travel, to be fair to my sister, to be fair to my nephew, to start to build the relationships that I want to build. I think actually it's quite funny because if I were to achieve what I want to achieve, um, if I were to be with a man who has a child and I don't know, to have a strong relationship there and perhaps that they could help watch the dog, I think that that would actually work really well for me, at least in my opinion, to be off traveling during the week and then to come home and kind of play the family role when I'm not traveling. I think that would be my ideal situation. However, I'm so grateful for my job. I just work for a fantastic company. Um, they're supportive. I get excellent projects. Again, love the people I work with. I think probably what's most important to me is that in healthcare consulting, we have a reputation for being amongst the best. I know many firms that have gone into different hospitals and been fired, and that's common. And virtually everyone I meet with Leidos is absolutely phenomenal, just so knowledgeable, such a great, kind person, hardworking people, and we get the job done. And I'm thrilled to be a part of that. Also, the pay is something that I'm happy with. I think one of the obstacles I would face if I were to look for other jobs is being able to find something comparable that allows me to pay my mortgage and my student loan. So anyway, I'm probably gonna cut myself off pretty soon because I feel like all of these thoughts have been going through my head constantly over the past couple of months. So I wanted to share, I wanted to be honest because I hope some of you will relate to me and that will strengthen our relationship as client and coach. I also would appreciate any feedback that you can provide, particularly if you know me well. Sorry, I don't think I entirely made my point, but my point about being so 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 thankful. I'm trying to say like gracious, if that means thankful. But anyway, I can say my point about having so much gratitude for the particular firm that I work for is that I don't think I could easily leave it and then go back to it, if that makes sense. I I have huge regrets still about leaving my job to go and get my MBA. That job was just so thrilling, so perfect for me. In many ways, if the opportunity came up to return, I would take that in a heartbeat. My one concern being finances. I'm not sure how I would pay back my student loans and pay my mortgage on that salary, but I would certainly try to find a way. So anyway, my point is that experience taught me the value of not leaving a job that's really good for you. And I feel like I'm in a really good position. I struggled with having to leave England, but every other goal that I had for my MBA and then some, I have smashed. So I'm really happy with that outcome. I think it's a matter of figuring out a way. I need to be there for my family. That's just so important to my self identity, so important to who I am. I want to be mentoring children. I want to be helping my sister, and I want to be there for my little nephew. To put it bluntly, my sister doesn't have the support of a mom. I think oftentimes when you have a baby, your mom's there and you want your mom involved in the process. Katie doesn't have that, and I want to help fill that role. Again, not that I can ever fill that role entirely. So yes, I'm looking for ways to change my lifestyle, and it's very, very scary. And coaching has helped me achieve comfort with this. Again, I'm growing so much every day. I'm putting myself out there. I'm learning to deal with situations that cause me stress and anxiety as a coach. And it just had such an amazing benefit on my personal growth. And then it's kind of ironic because on the flip side of that, having an exercise regimen and coaching and finding solace in those sorts of things, I think make you feel stronger as a person. So while you benefit from stepping outside of your comfort zone and growing, you simultaneously and paradoxically benefit from routine and from doing what you've always done and from grounding yourself. So just quite an interesting concept. Okay, I hope that was somewhat eloquent. I think I'm going to stop there for the day, but I hope that gives you a better understanding of the challenges and the difficult choices that I've been facing in my own life recently and where I want to take them. So I'm still trying to figure out a way for me to be there for my family to the best of my ability, be there for Katie, be there for Mason, to ideally have a job that satisfies me, that lets me continue to make a tremendous impact on healthcare systems, and hopefully allows for a little bit of travel. And then on the personal side, again, really looking to build a relationship, but letting it happen naturally as well. And again, I don't think it's something you can go out and work towards. So we'll see what happens there. I think honestly, I need a sign from the universe. I need some opportunity that's just presented to me. And yeah, I think when people need that most, I know this is so cheesy, but I actually believe that usually it happens. So fingers crossed for me. And again, we'll see where this goes. It's just such an interesting change for me to feel like maybe I want that stability. I want my own house. I'm starting to think that I really want to buy a house instead of my condo, and I want kids in my life. It's just so fascinating. And again, this isn't a whim conversation. So this is something that I've been thinking about for many, many months now, and I'm pretty certain of this path to be able to put it out there. And again, if you have any creative ideas, that would be wonderful. So, all right, I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you.